Tonight, when the light goes off, your room changes. Nothing moves. The chair is still a chair. The coat on the door is still a coat. But for a few seconds, your brain stops seeing objects. It sees shapes. It sees gaps. It sees places where something could be hiding. And suddenly, your safe modern room becomes very old. You may know there is nothing there. You may even laugh at yourself. But your body does not wait for proof. Your heart changes first. Your ears sharpen. Your eyes search the corner. Your skin becomes alert. Why does darkness do this? The simple answer is that you cannot see properly. But the real answer is stranger. You do not fear the dark because the dark is dangerous. You fear the dark because the dark hides information. And for most of human history, hidden information could kill. Your ancestors did not live behind locked doors and glowing screens. They did not sleep under streetlights. They did not press a switch and make the room obey them. When the sun went down, the world changed sides. In daylight, a path could be read. A face could be understood. A movement in the grass could be followed. But at night, distance collapsed. Edges softened. Harmless things became possible threats. The brain had to make decisions with less evidence. And when the brain has less evidence, it does not become calm. It becomes careful. This is the first secret of your fear of the dark. Your brain would rather mistake a coat for a person than mistake a person for a coat. One mistake is embarrassing. The other, in an older world, could have been fatal. Evolution does not reward the animal that feels brave. It rewards the animal that survives. So, your nervous system learned a simple rule. When you cannot see clearly, assume first. Relax later. Imagine one of your ancestors sitting near a fire. The day is gone. The group is quiet. Beyond the flames, the trees have become a wall of black shapes. Then something snaps. A twig, a rustle, a breath. Nobody knows what made it. Maybe it is wind. Maybe it is a small animal. Maybe it is nothing. But the body does not need a full explanation. It needs readiness. The heart speeds up. The muscles tighten. The eyes widen. The ears search the dark. Fear, in that moment, is not weakness. Fear is preparation. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux has spent decades studying how the brain responds to danger. One important idea from his work is that your body can begin reacting before your conscious mind has finished explaining what is happening. In plain English, you can feel afraid before you know why. That is why darkness feels so strange. The room is quiet. Nothing has touched you, but your body acts as if a question has been asked. What if something is there? Your mind says, probably not. Your body says, check anyway. And this is where darkness becomes powerful. It does not need to contain danger. It only needs to hide enough of the world for your imagination to start working. A visible snake is frightening, but a possible hidden snake can be worse. Because when a threat is visible, the brain can measure it. It can locate it. It can decide what to do. But when the threat is invisible, the brain has to imagine. And imagination is not a childish mistake. It is one of the oldest survival tools you have. It lets the brain simulate danger before danger arrives. It lets you prepare for something that has not happened yet, but at night, that same tool can turn against you. The dark gives your imagination an empty space, and your brain fills it. This is why a hallway feels longer in the dark. This is why a corner of the room can feel occupied. This is why a sound in the wall becomes a story. Your brain is not trying to scare you. It is trying to reduce uncertainty. Sometimes the fastest way to reduce uncertainty is to invent a possible explanation, even a frightening one. Psychologist Martin Seligman once argued that humans may be prepared to learn some fears more easily than others. Snakes, spiders, heights, darkness. These were not random fears in the ancient world. They were connected to situations where a small mistake could cost a lot. Later researchers, including Arne Oman, explored how quickly people notice certain evolutionarily relevant threats. The lesson is simple. Your brain is not equally interested in everything. A flower and a snake are both visual information, but only one of them can bite. A shadow and a rock are both shapes, but only one might hide movement. So the dark does not feel neutral. It feels loaded, not because your brain knows something is there, because your brain knows it does not know. That feeling gets stronger when you are alone. A dark street with friends is still dark. A dark room with someone beside you is still dark, but the fear changes. Why? Because a group is information. A group means more eyes, more ears, more reactions, more chances that someone else will notice danger first. Your ancestors did not face the night alone if they could avoid it. They gathered, they watched, they slept near each other. They used fire, voices, routines, and shared attention to make the night smaller. So when you are alone in the dark, your brain may not only be noticing low light, it may be noticing the absence of the group. That is why a child asks for a parent. That is why a voice from another room can calm the body. That is why a hallway light can feel like protection, even when you know it cannot protect anything. The light is not fighting a monster. It is giving the brain enough information to stop imagining one. This is the real reason the lamp works so quickly. When the light turns on, nothing is defeated. The coat becomes a coat again. The chair becomes a chair again. The corner becomes empty again. The danger did not leave. The uncertainty did, and your body relaxes as if a problem has been solved. This is also why fear of the dark can return even in adults. You may understand electricity. You may know your house is safe. You may know monsters are not real. But the old system does not disappear because you learned new facts. It simply becomes quiet. Then the right condition wakes it up. A power cut, a strange hotel room, a basement, a forest path, a noise downstairs, a street with no lamps. Suddenly, the ancient system is back. Not because you are irrational, because your body is responding to the same ingredients it was built to respect. Low visibility, separation, uncertain sound, unknown space, a world that cannot be fully checked. The amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure deep in the brain, is often linked to danger detection and emotional learning. But fear is not made by one tiny fear button. It is built by a whole network. Memory, attention, body signals, imagination, context. Darkness touches all of them at once. It removes sight. It wakes memory. It sharpens hearing. It gives imagination more room. Then your mind tries to explain why your body is already alert. Sometimes the answer is simple. You watched something scary. You are tired. You are somewhere unfamiliar. But sometimes the answer is older than memory. Your body is reacting to a condition that once mattered deeply. Night, hiddenness, being alone with a world you cannot fully see. There is a strange comfort in this. Fear of the dark is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that your brain still does one of its oldest jobs. It watches the border between the known and the unknown. It asks what might be there. It prepares before certainty arrives. In the modern world, that system often overreacts. Your bedroom is not an ancient forest. Your coat is not a stranger. Your hallway is not full of predators. But your nervous system was not designed from scratch for bedrooms, curtains, locks, and light switches. It was shaped by a much longer story. A story where the dark was not empty. It was unreadable. So tonight, when the light goes off and your room changes, notice the exact moment it happens. Nothing new enters the room. The dark does not add a monster. It removes certainty, and your brain rushes to fill the gap. It checks the corner. It sharpens the sound. It turns the coat into a question. Not because you are weak, because you come from a long line of creatures who survived by taking the unknown seriously. They were not perfectly brave. They were watchful. They listened twice. They stayed near the fire. They survived the night. And somewhere inside that ordinary moment, when you reach for the lamp beside your bed, you are touching the same ancient pattern. The modern world tells you darkness is empty. Your body remembers that empty is exactly where danger used to hide. Tonight, when the light goes off, your room changes. But now you know what changed. The room did not become haunted. It became unknown. And your brain was built to respect the unknown.